Oh, no finish him command?
Not so easily destroyed. No, my death is just the beginning.
Apparently we'll take that chance.
What have I done?
Quickly, Alex! We must find this creature! It cannot be allowed to remain in this universe! Ah, that's the ticket. It is finally over, my dear. The Ancients' plans are finished. For now, at least. You have proved to be an incredibly courageous young woman. Your mother and father would have been proud of you, just as I am. I'm sorry it had to be like this. It's not quite the inheritance I had in mind for you, but there was so little time, and so much to do. Goodbye, Alex. I will miss you.
As I gazed up at the ancient I had brought into this world to stop Pious, my mistake was made clear. This ancient could lay the world to ruin just as easily as Pious's would have. And yet, as quickly as it began, it ended. To think that once I could not see beyond the veil of reality, to see those who dwell behind. I was once a fool.
Let's see, you've overcome the darkness that has prevailed for over 2 millennia. This accomplishment will begin a new era for humanity. Now, would you like to record this grand occasion in the pages of human history? I suppose so. And we have end credits. At long last, we've brought this one to a close. This was quite a ride. Now, I know there is actually an alternate ending. Shag did tell me this much. Apparently, you can get a different ending by completing the game 3 times, each time choosing a different artifact at the start, so you have a different conflict of ancients. But, yeah, that is something for another time, maybe. If there's enough interest, I might play this in the background to work on getting to that point, but, yeah, for now I think I'm glad to just be done with this one. Gods, a secret project like 2 years in the making. Oh. This game, It did a lot of things really nicely. I, for the most part, really enjoyed this game. It's just right toward the end that it felt like some things kind of fell apart. Mainly just the, let's recycle the most tedious part of the game and somehow make it even more tedious. Also, the part where you had to sneak around that worm, that just felt out of place. It really felt like they should have had some kind of a quote-unquote challenge there that, for instance, finally made Magic Pool make sense, or made use of Damage Field. I still don't really get the purpose of those two particular spells. I mean, Magic Pool seems like it's just a slow recovery while you're doing other stuff. Maybe that's all there is to it, but it just felt like something else should have been there. Now, the final battle, that felt satisfying. I liked how they did that. It was kind of interesting how they worked in some of the past characters there. I thought that was pretty cool. Overall, I actually did enjoy this game. Pretty much the one thing I would say is it's a shame that I couldn't show more sanity effects, because it just got too dangerous to be at low sanity. And that might just be an effect of which artifact I chose at the start, because then they would always go after sanity first, and if my sanity was drained, they'd immediately go after my health. So maybe more sanity effects can be shown if you're, for instance, using the blue artifact, and so it's just magic that they keep going after, so staying at low sanity isn't as dangerous. But the sanity effects were pretty cool. I liked those. I think that was probably my major draw to wanting to try this game, was that sounded interesting, and it was interesting. Overall, this whole game, I'd recommend giving it a shot anyway. It's a different kind of horror game. It definitely felt different from my usual fare of Resident Evil or Silent Hill or what have you. All in all, I'm actually really glad that I did this project. Yeah, it took a while, and it's taught me some lessons. For one thing, never announce a secret project, and never try and do it at the same time as other projects. I have to respect anybody like Raocow that can keep multiple projects going at the same time. It's obviously beyond me. But, yeah, I feel a nice sense of accomplishment in having finished this. It's definitely a game I would play again, so I probably will, even if I don't film it, work on trying to get that last ending at some point. But for now, I think it's time to close the cover on the Tome of Eternal Darkness. Looks like we're coming to the end here. Are we just going to stay on the Nintendo logo, or are we doing anything? I honestly don't know. I figured we'd be kicked back to the title screen or something. Okay, the music's fading. I think we're done. And then it's restarting. Okay, hitting start got me off of that. Back to the... It's back! Ah! I'm being haunted by the Nintendo logo. So, yeah, I guess that is indeed the end of it. So, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your patience in waiting for this one. I hope you enjoyed the project. I had a good time with this, and I shall see you again next time. Until then, fare thee well. So now, just a few quick final thoughts. A bit more composed now that I'm not on the adrenaline high of finishing the game after 2 years of very separated off and on playing. Like I said, the game does a lot of things very well, and on that, I think it definitely merits trying if this is your kind of game. If you're a survival horror type fan, give it a shot. It's an interesting game. Is it perfect? No, but then what is? It feels like some things definitely could have been done better or been made clearer. I cite the shield spell, which very specifically tells you it protects you from all manner of magic, but says nothing about protecting you from physical harm, which it apparently does. Considering the forced tutorial for the spell was making you use it to get across the yellow damage field floors, it gives the impression that that's all it's for. Compare this to Enchant Item, which very clearly states every use it has. It just feels like they could have been a bit more clear on shield. Then there are areas where things just could have been done better, like making higher point spells more interesting than just Pargon, 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 and definitely not making you go through the tedium of a 9-point cast twice. And of course, a better bloody camera. Overall though, it's a pretty solid game, and I'm glad I played it. A little behind the scenes info, but there are some interesting things I've been told about Eternal Darkness that I can share here. First, in early production, there were actually plans to have a 5th Ancient. However, it was scrapped due to time constraints. What little remains of this mysterious 5th Ancient seems to be the yellow damage fields and little else. I've also been told that there were plans to make a sequel, but unfortunately, Silicon Knights would not live that long. Eternal Darkness was actually made by only half the team from what I've been told, the other half having been put to work on an X-Men game. From the sounds of it, the game had interesting ideas, but kind of fell apart, showing that it didn't have a full team working on it. Unfortunately, the low sales pretty much doomed the company, and so Eternal Darkness 2 never saw the light of day. Recently, I did hear someone mention that they'd heard something about Eternal Darkness 2 being announced or at least hinted at or something for the Wii U, but I haven't had any confirmation on that. So, on to future plans. There seems to be a lot of interest in me returning to this project at a later date to show some of the things I missed during the Xel'lotath run, and so I may indeed do that at some point in the future. I doubt I'll fully record the rest of the runs, but I may show things like unique cutscenes with the other Ancients, as well as the final ending. At any rate, I'm guessing the main playthrough there isn't that different. In any case, this is something that'll be at a future date. We're definitely giving Eternal Darkness a rest for now. The next thing I'll be doing on my channel will be a few Mega Man Fortress Stage Perfect runs. I'm at least going to be doing the ones from Mega Man 1, and may consider going ahead and doing 4 and or 5, since I recently raced those particular games with my friends, and those Fortress stages are thus a bit more fresh in my mind. After a bit of that, I'm considering either Rocco-chan Perfect runs, or possibly the Legend of Zelda Minimalist run. We'll see what I'm more in the mood for at that point. It's one thing I definitely want to try to do this year is get the last 2 projects from the original Let's Vote list finished up, so Zelda and Jumper 3. And of course, with the Perfect runs, long-time viewers know that videos there will just be an as-they're-available basis. I can't guarantee how long a stage will take me, after all. That aside, I'm probably going to be taking a week off for the moment, relax after the editing marathon that was this project. So anyway, that's the end of this one. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my blind run of Eternal Darkness. As always, my most sincere thanks to all my friends, fans, and viewers out there, and I shall see you again for the next project. Until then, fare thee well.